Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by MFC Heavyweight Darrill Schoonover. Darrill, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Darrill, you got a fight coming up January 17th at MFC 39. How's training been going for the fight?
It's been going really well. I've had a good 2 months to train up to it, so right now I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that this is the longest training camp you've had in a very long time?
Not necessarily. My last few fights, my last four fights, so I've had a pretty good training camp. I haven't been taking fights on short notice anymore, so that's what's benefited me a lot.
Just curious, who are you working with, and where are you preparing at for this fight?
I train at Red Spider MMA. It's my gym, and I just work with my guys that I've been training for about 3 years now.
Oh, I see. And since it's your gym, obviously, I'm sure you're the head coach since you're the guy who owns it. But who are your coaches?
Nobody, me.
Oh, you don't have a coach?
No, I coach myself. I do my own lesson plans and whatnot, and yeah.
Oh. So who's going to be cornering you for this fight?
Normally my brother corners me for my fights, but he's going to be in Golden Gloves competing in state. So right now I'm going to have one of my fighters, Herman Amaya, he's going to be my corner.
Just curious, how long have you been your own coach? When was the last time you had a coach?
I haven't had a coach since 2009.
Oh, really? That long?
It's hard, you know what I mean? You have to get used to training yourself and pushing yourself and, you know what I mean, not quitting. But I was training at the main gyms at American Top Team and all those other ones, and I was just constantly getting hurt. You know what I mean? And injuries coming and going and plaguing me. So once I started training myself, I know my body. I know how to push myself. You know what I mean? I know when to relax. If anything, I do have Mike Van Arsdale.
Okay.
He comes down every now and then and does a couple wrestling seminars for me, but that's about it.
Oh, okay. I see. So I see that you've still stayed in contact with guys from The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
MFC 39 coming up on January 17th. You're going to be taking on Anthony Hamilton. What are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
He's he's a big guy. Honestly, I think I'm more experienced of a fighter. I'm ready to go in there and see if he wants to stand up with me. I'm pretty sure he's going to go for the takedown. He is training with Greg Jackson, so I'm pretty sure Greg already, went over the lesson plan to just take me down. He was one of my coaches on The Ultimate Fighter as well.
Right.
So they know what kind of hands I have,
Right. Now, I'm sure you caught his last fight. When he won the title, he knocked out Salimo Rama by head kick. Were you impressed with his performance?
I didn't get to see the whole fight. I just saw the highlights of him landing the head kick, but everybody that I spoke to said that he was actually losing the first round.
Right.
So I'm not too sure. You know what I mean? I have looked at all of his opponents, their records and whatnot, and really he's only fought two guys that had decent records that were good, and he lost to both of them. And all the rest of his wins were 0-3, 0-4. Guys of that caliber. So I'm not, I'm taking it serious. Everybody's dangerous. Anybody at heavyweight is dangerous. They all have knockout power. So as long as I keep my hands up, and chin down, I don't think he's going to land any head kicks on me.
Now, just curious, I don't want to say what worries you, but what are some things that you have to be aware of when fighting him?
I guess his kicks, his power. That's about it. Oh. Honestly, I'm not too worried on the stand-up game. I guarantee he's going to go for the takedown. You know what I mean? They always do.
Is that your thought process because of the camp he comes from, or is that just how you think he's going to fight against you? Like when your style matches up against his style, is that something where you think it's a style thing, or is it just kind of like what his coaches will be telling him to do?
Both. Oh. I know coming out of Greg Jackson, they look for the easiest way to win. You know what I mean? They game plan for that. You know what I mean? He's gonna look for the takedown. You know what I mean? As long as I'm on my back, I'm losing the round. Oh. And I've already been working on my footwork and my wrestling defense and avoiding that. And then also just everybody that I fought, eventually they go for the takedown. You know what I mean?
Yep, definitely. Now, I'm just curious, the MFC, they're giving you a title shot right off the bat. When they contacted you to be a part of the organization, was the title shot offered right then and there, or did they sign you and then they said, hey, give us some time, we're going to figure out who we want you to fight, and then the title shot came? Could you explain how they offered you a title fight?
No, they offered it to me right away. Basically, it was Anthony Hamilton, the one that called me out. He said, I guess since he just won the title, he went back and told him that he wanted to, to have a couple of good wins or easy wins so he can defend the belt. And he personally asked for my name. And that's what the promoters and everybody called me or told me. When they called me, they're the ones that told me that, and I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So, that motivates me. That gets me ready. He thinks I'm not up to par, or he's taking me very lightly.
Do you have past history with Anthony Hamilton, or was this call out kind of out of left field?
It was just kind of out of left field, man.
Oh, so you...
I'm excited. I'm happy for it, too, because the big thing was whenever I was losing fights, everybody was calling me, you know what I mean, trying to, make a name off of me, make a win off of me. As soon as I started winning again, I stopped getting calls. So my last fight was in June, so I'm glad that I was able to, to get this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. You haven't fought since September of 2012. I'm just curious, what led to this long layoff?
I had injuries after my September fight. I hurt my hand really bad. That's why I didn't have a fight till June. But I don't have a promoter. I don't have anybody out there, talking me up and getting in there in people's faces. I do it all myself. Recently, I just started with Jeremy, one of my new manager. Mm-hmm. And people. Whenever I'm losing, they try to take advantage. They want to get in there and try to make a name, make a name off themselves or off me. And since I started winning, they stopped calling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a two-part question. The first part is, you had a little bit of a rough patch. You lost a bunch of fights in a row, although they were to really good guys. I mean, if you look at the list, there's no shame in any of these losses. All those guys that you fought were very good fighters. But you had a rough patch there. First part is, what led to the losing streak? And second, now you're doing so much better. You're on a nice little win streak here. How were you able to turn things around and get back on the winning track?
Well, first, I always think it was mental. It was a mental block, you know what I mean? What people don't understand is I never lost a fight. Mm-hmm. And I never lost a street fight. I never lost an amateur fight. I never lost anything. You know what I mean? So when I first got my loss, it hit me pretty hard. And then I switched training camps. My coach, Jason at the time, he moved me, or he told me that he couldn't train me anymore, that he wanted me to go look for other gyms and this and that. And, I was just always traveling, going to American Top Team, other places, and I was just plagued with injuries, you know what I mean? And one of the big problems was, too, I was taking fights on extremely short notice, you know what I mean? Like, right. Esteban Jones, I took on 3 days' notice, Nick Gaston, I took on a couple weeks, just all those fights, and really all those fights, I went the distance, and they barely beat me by split decision.
Right.
Or like Nick Gaston, he caught me with an elbow, and the doctor stopped it because of my cut.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of those fights, I don't even consider them losses. I would love to rematch those guys and just go in there and destroy them. You know what I mean? When I lost to Richard Odoms, I broke my clavicle. I broke my clavicle in the first minute of the first round. And, a lot of it is ego, where I don't want to quit, where I want to keep going. But if I would have just quit the first round, it would have been considered a no contest rather than a loss on my record. Because I fought all 3 rounds with a broken clavicle.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said at the beginning there that it was mental. It was all mental that led to this losing streak. I'm just curious, with going from December 2009 to April 2011 without a win, what did that do to you mentally? Did you ever have thoughts about maybe I can't compete anymore at this level? Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I need to take some time away. Maybe I need to get away from everything and just completely get a different outlook on fighting. Did you ever have those times where you started to doubt yourself, like maybe I can't compete at this level? 2010
was my worst year, and everybody, my close friends, my family, why don't you just stop? Stop now, because all you're doing is you're ruining your image, you're ruining your record. You know what I mean? So just quit. But one of the things that my uncle told me and my brother a while ago was once you get your ass kicked, that determines what kind of fighter you are. If you can step back in there and come back hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's always stuck with me. And I'm no quitter by any means. You know, I've never quit in anything. I'd rather sit in there and get my ass kicked. You know, even possibly die in there before I quit. Like I've never tapped out. You know, even my submission loss to Tony Lopez, I did not tap out. The referee stopped it. He looked right at me and said, "Son, your arm was going to break." I looked at him and I said, "Yes, sir, it was." You know what I mean?
Right.
So my mentality is I never quit, and I'm never going to quit. And you know, it just took a lot of time and and preparation, and actually getting back in there and hitting the gym hard, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, Darrill, I don't think it really matters a whole lot because now you got this great deal with MFC and you're fighting for their title, but I've been curious for a very long time, what happened with shark fights? There was a fight between you and Bobby Lashley that was supposed to happen, but you ended up getting injured and the fight was canceled.
I hurt my shoulder again, man. And then they just went, I don't know, they just went crazy and started acting like I was trying to duck out. I wasn't trying to duck out or anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just got injured. And after that, they said they wanted to strip me of the title. Yes. I was like, dude, I've never even had I never even got a chance to defend it.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to fight Bobby Lashley. He's a one-trick pony. You know, he's gonna go for the takedown over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. That's why I brought it up because you got injured and then they stripped you of the title. That was going to be my question. What reason did they give you for stripping it? Were they that desperate to have Bobby Lashley be champion? Because it looked like the only reason why they wanted him to fight for them was if it was for a belt. So and then you got injured.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it was. They just wanted to pub up Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My name was kind of going downhill, and. I'm not, and I'm telling you, that's one of the big things now is I don't take fights on short notice anymore. I don't take fights if I have extreme injuries. I do understand that anytime you go into a fight at this caliber, you are going to have some injuries. You know what I mean? I have some injuries now I'm not going to talk about, but you know what I mean? You have to pick and choose which ones you can, which ones you can take in there.
Mm-hmm. Just curious, did you get to keep the belt? Obviously, they stripped you of the title champion, but did they take the belt back? Because when Bobby Lashley won it, it was a different design.
Oh, no, I still have my title.
Oh, okay.
I still have my belt. Yeah, I don't know, was his better design?
No. The one that you have is 1,000 times better. The one that they got was rough, but I like yours a lot better. So you got the better deal out of that.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, mine's just mounted up in my gym with all my other belts. So I have 6 titles now, 5 pro and 1 amateur.
Mm-hmm. Now, the MFC, obviously you'll be able to say better after the fight, but the MFC, from what I've seen online and stuff, they're really behind you. They're promoting you well, and Mark Pavlich is a very big fan of yours. Obviously, you'll be able to say after you've been to an event and fought for them, but what kind of interaction have you had with the organization up until this point?
Not much. Just little things. They wanna plug me up the right way. They know if I do go in there and gain that title, that they don't want to be dogging me. You know what I mean? And they've been really good guys so far. I like them a lot. They've treated me well. I have no complaints.
How many fights on your deal with MFC?
I signed a 3-fight contract with them.
Oh, I see. Darrill, I'm sure you've played this fight in your head 1,000 times over and over again. Just curious, how do you see this fight ending?
The fight's going to end. I'm going the same way, the same game plan that I always have, and I'm looking for the knockout, no matter what. You know what I mean? If right now I have 8 professional knockouts in MMA, we have 1 professional knockout in boxing. You know what I mean? If he wants to stand right in front of me and throw, more power to him. Let him do it. I want to see what he can do. I seriously doubt he's going to want to do that. He's a slow starter. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to try to push the pace. And let's see if we can. I'm going to try to take him in deep waters. See if he can go all the 4th or 5th round. Mm-hmm.
Darrill, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
No, I just want to tell the fans that, you know what I mean, that they're gonna have a good fight on their hands. They're gonna see fireworks. They're not gonna see, or I'm not gonna be laying on them. You know what I mean? They're not gonna see 2 big heavyweights playing on each other. They're gonna see 2 big guys going in there and throwing bombs.
Darrill, thank you for taking...
And I would like to thank all my sponsors, but I can't remember their names for the life of me.
Darrill, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck January 17th at MFC 39 against Anthony Hamilton.
All right, thank you. Thank you for talking to me, man.